I'm not trying to front, but this picture looks pretty fire. Today is day 19. No more, bruh. I'm sick of it. No more excuses. You know, a lot of times we expect a lot, and we expect a lot from others, especially. We set standards. We say, nah, I won't accept if this person does this to me. I won't accept if this person does that to me. If this person talks to me this way, nah, can't do it. Even in our jobs, right? Our leaders, our bosses, our supervisors, we expect a lot out of them because they're in a position of authority. And when you're given authority over others, you're expected to produce results. And I would say a lot of times people who aren't in those positions don't expect a lot out of themselves. They're bare minimum. They're conditional people. What do I mean by that, right? Conditional. Well, they're conditional in the sense that they won't sacrifice. They won't stay later to do that extra work that needs to be done. They won't help that extra person who comes in at the end of the day. They're not the first to take on new challenges or be the first to volunteer for something that's optional, right? A lot of people say, oh, I won't do this job, or I won't do this task because I don't get paid to do that. I won't do this thing because I don't get paid for that, right? I think where a lot of people fuck up is, how do you expect to get paid to do that when you're not even willing to show that initiative? And don't get me wrong, I understand the logic, right? Why would you do something you're not getting paid for, right? It makes perfect sense. But on the flip side of that is those people who are in positions of authority, do you think that they did what was in their pay grade? Do you think the people who are granted those opportunities are the ones who are doing the bare minimum? No, they're the ones who work longer hours, do more, ask for more, and produce more. If you're not willing to put in the extra work, then you shouldn't be talking about why you deserve this or why you deserve that. If you're a conditional ass bitch, you're probably just making excuses on why you're not where you want to be. And you know, if you're not gonna accept excuses from your boss, if you're not gonna accept excuses from your coworkers, if you're a supervisor, right? If you wouldn't accept excuses from your loved ones, why would you accept excuses from yourself? You know, be stern with self. Be stern with self and care for others. Now, I think where a lot of people fuck up is they're stern with others, but gentle with self. And not that you shouldn't do that, right? I think there's a time and place for you to be kind to yourself, treat yourself as if you're somebody worth helping. But I think on the flip side, right, if you're wanting to be more, I guess this message is for those who want to be more, right? Well, if you want to be more, you have to be willing to do more. That means, I mean, whatever your situation is, if you want a better body, well, you got to do more time in the gym. If you're doing enough time in the gym, then you probably need to clean up your diet. If both of those things aren't aren't getting the job done, then you're probably doing something wrong. I don't think I've ever seen, and maybe you can speak differently to this, right? I don't think I've ever seen somebody do all the right things and not get what they deserve. And vice versa. I don't think I've ever seen somebody do all the wrong things and not get what they deserve, right? I think that a lot of people feel like they deserve a lot more than what they get, but they're not willing to do more. Just to dive in, I guess just to dive in a little bit deeper and give a little bit more perspective, right? There was a point in time where I was working at Whole Foods as just a dishwasher, part-time employee going to school. And if you're going to school, you better be going for something fucking important, because if you're not going to be a doctor, if you're not going to be a lawyer, if you're not going to be a computer scientist, engineer, something that requires a degree, me personally, I think you're just wasting your time, right? That's your decision to make. I just feel like you're throwing money away if you're not going to be any of those things. Like if you're fucking majoring in gender studies, there's only two of them, so you're wasting your fucking time. What else is there to study? Anyways, I think that, well, let me get back to my story, right? So, anyways, long story short, I decided that I wasn't going to stop going to school. I got my associates and I said, fuck it. I'm not throwing away more money just to keep going to school and get my bachelor's, and then what? I still got to keep going to school? Fuck that. I'd rather invest my time in trying to climb the ladder, so to speak, I guess. And I was going to school for psychology. And I'll be honest, the majority of the shit I learned while getting my associates, I probably could have just learned on YouTube. As a matter of fact, a lot of the YouTube shit that I watch, I basically learned mostly from YouTube. Like, don't get me wrong, I had a lot of professors, good professors, but most of my shit, I mean, you can learn this shit on your own, right? It's good in business. It helps you how to read people, how to talk to people, how to persuade people. I wouldn't say convince people. That's just a wordplay, but I got a lot of beneficial information out of there. I figured if I gotta keep going to school to become a clinical psychologist, fuck that. I'm not willing to invest that time. So I'll climb the ladder. So eventually, I found myself in a position where I was basically doing the next level job, right? It was kind of an in-between between management and, you can call it supervisor position, I guess. And I found myself in this situation where I had two choices. I could have kept doing the job and not getting paid for it, or I could have just said, nah, you know what? Shit's kind of going a little sideways. I'll let the people who get paid for this figure it out. I could have easily gone with the second choice, but I knew that if I stepped up to the plate and rose to the occasion, there's no way that they could deny me what's rightfully mine. At least that's the perspective I had, right? And it ended up working out. And once I acquired that position, supervisor position, I shot my eyes on the next thing, right? Well, I mean, I had to master what was in front of me. Once I mastered that, I said, okay, how can I get myself from this position to the next position? So on and so forth. And so I think that if if and this is just work wise, right? Promotion. If a promotion is something that you want, then do the work necessary so that when the opportunity arises, they cannot deny it. They can't deny you what's rightfully yours. Same thing with the fuck, you could use that same logic with the gym, right? If there's a physique or a body that you want, then do the work necessary to achieve that body and acquire what's rightfully yours. Again, if the diet part is what's fucking you over, then do what's necessary to acquire what is yours. I've been making a lot of excuses and today I'm deciding to enough's enough, no more. I I don't expect excuses from my bosses. I don't expect excuses from my loved ones. And if I'm not expecting excuses from them, then I too must not give excuses. And I think that's the most important one. The most important one is that you don't accept your own excuses, right? This is something that I've been wanting to do for a whole year now, even longer than that. This year I decided was the year that I was going to start just talking shit. And it took me 11 months to finally build the courage to finally do it. And just imagine what this could have looked like if I did this 11 months sooner. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's no better time than now, but I think it's also important to appreciate that perspective, because not only can I realize that I wasted a handful of time procrastinating, but it also gives me perspective on attacking what's right in front of me, the now, the moment, the current moment, and seeing what this could be 11 months from now. So I think that if you got something you want to do, dude, don't make any fucking excuses. Simple as that. I'm not going to accept any more excuses from myself. There have been things here and there that I, you know, kind of chalk up to the day, and it's things that I can control, like the time that I go to sleep, the time that I wake up. And the reason I bring up that time at Whole Foods is because this is the only time in my life where I've actually set out to do something and accomplish it and then actually get it done. And this shit that I'm just talking, I was on back then. And I don't think I've ever been more dialed in and focused and just fucking deafening out or blacking out the bullshit or blacking out the distractions or whatever the case is, right? The distraction essentially. I don't think there's ever been a more time in my life where I've been dialed and just on it. I was only getting maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep during that time, working 7 days a week, 10, 12-hour shifts, still hitting the gym, still coming home. And mind you, this was a time where my life was kind of changing because I realized I was going to be a father. And and sometimes, this is my personal opinion, I think when you're kind of thrusted into responsibility, it forces you to grow. When life shakes you up and you know, it comes out of left field and it fucks you over, I think those are the times where you grow the most. When you're uncomfortable, you grow the most, right? And I've said this before. One thing that I've noticed is if I go a couple days with like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, that's when I'm in it. That's when I'm in the fucking moment, and I'm not taking excuses, not listening to to bullshit. And I think that's when I also notice that it's important to structure my day and not waste time, because the time that I'm not spent the time that's not spent resting needs to be spent progressing, because if you're not progressing, you're regressing. Nothing is ever stagnant. I think now marks today, this moment marks the beginning of my winter villain arc. And not in the sense that I'm just gonna go fucking wild, but in the sense that it's time to dial in, baby. It's time to dial in. Gym, it's non-negotiable. Wake up time has to be non-negotiable. And I think if I had a third thing to implement, I guess it would be these videos. That's too easy, because this is something I already want to do. Say read a book. I don't know. The third one's not really coming to mind right now, so I'll just leave it at that. For sure, wake up time, making sure that I get an ample amount of sleep, because motherfuckers like to say that, you know, fuck sleep, just grind. Nah, bro, sleep is important. Sleep is important. People swear that that they're fucking going crazy, but really they're just staying up till 12:30 on Netflix, scrolling on their phone and waking up at 4. Like, bruh, your problems are not that big, bro. You're just fucking. You're not getting sleep. That's your own fucking fault. Excuses, bro. Shit. Well, I'm probably gonna eat some more chips and salsa. I think I'm gonna end this here. Different change of pace. Tomorrow, I got back in bicep. It's 10:07 right now. I'm gonna try to go to sleep by 10:30, and then wake up at 4:30. 6 hours of sleep. It's plenty of time. And then that's all I'm really looking forward to right now. I gotta work tomorrow, but not negotiable, bro. I'll be there. I'm showing up. Positive attitude, positive mindset. Trying to be the best, man. Trying to be the best. I think if you're gonna do something and you're not striving to be the best, what are you doing it for? I mean, yeah, you gotta go to work. Everybody's gotta go to work. Gotta pay the bills somehow, right? Me personally, I'm a competitive guy. I like to strive for excellence, strive for perfection. Never attain that. Let's just say pursuit of excellence, right? I like to strive for that. I like to strive to set the bar. I like to be the guy who can get it done. I like to be in the know. The more information I have, the better asset I become. And I think when you have that mindset, and you have a team who can feed off of that energy, not only does it make you better because you're striving to be excellent, but if the people around you have that same hunger, then they're going to continuously strive to be better. They're going to continuously strive for excellence. And when you have a team like that, you're unstoppable. Ideally, you want to be number one all the time. But if somebody passes you, or if somebody's climbing, chasing you, you got to up your game. You got to strive to be better just so that gap can widen. Because if not, they're coming for you, bro. They're coming to take your spot. They're coming to take your promotion. And, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm supporting my team. I'm supporting my my bros, my homies. I want everybody's gonna win. If I eat, we're all eating. But I want to be the one. I want to be the top. I want to be that guy. I want to be him. And I would just say make sure the people in your circle are those kind of people, because as we approach another year is going to go by, and you don't want to be continuously being in the same spot year after year. So just making sure you got the right people around you who are going to push you to be better and also strive for excellence. So I think I'll end it there. I actually went for quite a while, so it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I'm just here to talk shit, shoot the shit, get lit, live life, man. Live life. I think we'll end it there. That was a nice rant. No more excuses. Let's get it done. We got a couple more days till the end of the year, or end of the month rather. And then December 1st, you got 31 days, bruh. You got 31 days to prepare for the new year. My recommendation is you start now, because you ain't got to prepare if you just start, you know what I mean? Obviously you got to have a game plan, but the sooner you start, the quicker you gain momentum. It only takes, if you haven't started, set out a couple days of the week. Let the days roll into weeks, the weeks roll into months. And just imagine where you'll be 3 months, 6 months, a year. Progress is, it's weird because it's not really linear, right? It's like you progress, you regress, you progress, regress, progress, regress. But if you look at it far enough out, it looks like a linear line, but people don't see the ups and downs. They just see the climb. So I'm just talking at this point. I'll go ahead and end it here. I hope you all have a wonderful night. I'll see you tomorrow. Get a sick ass pump. If you didn't work out today, make sure you get a lift in. If lifting is not your thing, to do something to make yourself better. Have a good night.